On today's show, we have a very special guest, Mr. John Rooke. He is the voice of the New England Patriots. So, Mr. Rooke, how are you doing today?
Everything's great, Alex. Thanks for having me, pal.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. And for those that don't know, I spent 2 weeks in July at at Dean College at a sports broadcasting camp with the Summer Discovery, and Mr. Rook was a teacher there, and I enjoyed every second of that summer sports broadcasting camp. And I wanted to talk with John today, and I want to talk to him a little bit about that camp. And I want to ask you, I believe this was the first year of it, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We had a blast doing it, and it was great having you and the other guys that were from all over the country and even out of country. We had one gentleman, Gino Chu from China, which was really cool to have there. So it was, as you said, it's put on by the Summer Discovery folks that do similar type of camps, summer camps at various major universities across the country. And Dean, of course, was able to get involved because of our relationship with the Craft Sports Group and the New England Patriots and New England Revolution. We have a unique and rather distinct academic partnership, with the professional sports franchises, and we feel like it kind of gives our students a little bit of an edge. And we were able to do this under the auspices of the Summer Discovery folks and work on this summer sportscasting camp. And so our goal was to give you guys a little bit of a taste of what it was really like to work on a day in and day out basis, to be a sportscaster. And I guess at least judged by your reaction.
Yeah, I actually loved it, and I actually was a guest on your own show, Patriot Playbook, on Patriots.com. And now you'll be doing that pretty much every day, right? You started up today for the football season.
Yeah, that's right. Today was the first day of our regular season programming, and for anybody that cares or doesn't know about it, the Patriots have kind of been out in front of this whole audio streaming thing. They were the first NFL franchise to stream live audio and to do podcasting back in 2000. Sounds like that was an ancient time ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we've been doing the show that I do since 2001. We came along in the second year, so this is the 16th year that we've done this program, and we're on every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 2 until 4 o'clock Eastern time. All you have to do is go to the Patriots.com website, and you just click the audio link, and voila, we're there. It's a lot of fun. We not only talk about the Patriots, but obviously, but we invite a lot of guests from around the National Football League as well. We always preview the games, and it gives fans of the Patriots, it gives fans of the NFL a chance to sort of have a meeting place to, do a sports talk radio show, if you will, amongst just NFL fans to talk about what's going on with the issues in the National Football League.
Yeah, so not only do you host the Patriot Playbook, you are also the PA announcer at Gillette Stadium for both the New England Revolution soccer team there and the New England Patriots. And then also you are the Providence Friars basketball announcer, right?
Yeah, I've been doing the radio for Providence College in the Big East for 28 seasons, and I've loved every minute of it. It's been truly a labor of love, and I spent a number of years, doing television, in local markets, and then had a chance to do some work for about 11 years on ESPN radio, and did play-by-play on ESPN and ESPNU, and I've gotten a chance to, get a taste of it, if you will, from all different aspects, and it's been wonderful. I've had a wonderful, very fortunate career, but when it gets right down to it, I just love the fact that, as a play-by-play broadcaster for a team, you get a chance to be a beat writer, but at the same time, you're a beat writer for a broadcaster, if you will, for a team. And so you get a chance to develop an identity, you get to know people, you get to see people grow. And that's one of the greatest thrills that I have in doing Big East basketball, especially at Providence, is watching these kids, some of them, your age, Alex, and you're watching them grow up and become, not only, great basketball players, but become great human beings, become, men. And that's really a neat thing to be a part of. And I think it's probably why I keep coming back.
Yeah. And you just talked a little bit about what you've liked most about the Big East and what you liked about your job. And I want to ask you, what is the hardest part of doing the play-by-play announcing for the Big East for Providence?
Well, I don't know that there's anything really hard after you've been doing it as long as I have. And there's only one other guy in the Big East that's been doing it longer than me. Rich Chavotkin is a very good friend, and he's been at Georgetown for 41 years.
Wow.
And so these jobs obviously don't come open all that often, and there's a reason why, because it's truly a labor of love. Everybody enjoys it so much. I mean, I don't think I've ever one day considered this a job. It's pretty neat to do. That being said, I would tell you that sometimes the travel gets to be a little bit, cumbersome. When I was in the NBA years ago, I was a younger man, and I really didn't mind it as much because I was single, unattached, had no family, no kids, that kind of thing. But, as you get older and you have family and kids and there are other priorities in your life, it does get to be a bit of a hassle sometimes, until we, came into the age of charter flights, where, teams will basically just pick up and go on their own. They'll rent airplanes, which is the day and age that we're in now. Hey, listen, it was difficult when you had, one and sometimes even two stops to make before you got to a destination, and you had to go through, the airport and security and pick up your baggage, and that can be a little bit of a drag too. Plus, nobody likes, Alex, 4:30 a.m. wake up calls.
No,
nobody. I don't care how glamorous you think the job is. 4:30 a.m. wake up calls stink. So that's never an easy thing to do. But you know what? That's just a very small price to pay to get to do something you really enjoy and you really love.
Yeah, and before we wrap up this interview, I know that you grew up in Waco, Texas, a small town, and you are a big Texas football fan, and I know Texas beat Florida to a very tough game in overtime. So I want to talk to you a little about that game, and where do you see this Texas team going for the rest of the season?
Well, first of all, let me correct you of my hometown. I started out working in Waco at a TV station there, but I was actually born and raised in Fort Worth, so which is only about 75 miles to the north of Waco, so you were close. As far as my alma mater, I went to the University of Texas, and I had those 4 years were some of the best years of my entire life, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. Although I don't think I could go back and do it all over again as someone who's my advanced age now. I'll tell you, I think I'll leave that to the younger guys and gals. I've truly been a Longhorn diehard football fan. College football is one of my favorite things to follow in the entire world. Even though I work in college basketball and I work in the NFL, college football has been one of my real passions. And obviously, you cut me, I probably will bleed orange. I'm that big of a Longhorn fan. I'm a huge fan of Charlie Strong. I met him several years ago when he was the coach at Louisville. He had just, come from his defensive coordinator spot in Florida to take the head coaching job at Louisville when I was covering Big East football at the time, when there was such a thing. And always thought in my interaction with him that he would be a really good guy to take over my alma mater if that ever happened. At the time, Matt Brown was doing very well. And so I had everybody come to me when Charlie was hired saying, what about this guy? What about this guy? And I said, look, I'm going to have to give him a chance. He has to clean house. He has to do things his way. And the guys that were in the program before, some of them had a bit of entitlement on their sides or whatever you want to say. They have to buy into the coach. And so it's going to take a little while. And the last 2 years have been very, very painful as a Longhorn football fan to go through because nobody at Texas is used to that. Texas has been a storied, college football program in this country, ranking right up there with the top 5, 6, 7 of all time in terms of wins, national titles, All-Americans, all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty cool thing to root for and be a part of, but you want to do things the right way as best you can. Because in this day and age, with so much emphasis on making a buck, and TV ratings and everything, you like to think that somewhere somebody's trying to do things the right way. And I think Charlie Strong is trying to do things the right way. So I'm happy for Coach Strong. And the football team looks definitely improved, didn't they? I mean, Notre Dame's good. Notre Dame is really good. And Texas has a dynamic offense. They still need a lot of work on special teams and defense, but that offense is going to be very, very difficult for, I think, teams to stop this year as they get into the Big 12. Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with that. Okay, Mr. Rooke, I want to say thank you for taking the time to come on the Sports Fusion episode, and hopefully the Patriots can they have a first few games without Tom Brady. And before I wrap this interview, what's your prediction for the first 4 games record-wise? That's a great question, and I would tell you that I really believe that the Patriots worked hard in the offseason to improve their depth, because that was one of the things with the injuries that they had at the tail end of last year that they needed to work on, was having available bodies. I really believe injuries helped keep them out of the Super Bowl a year ago. Denver just had, faster bodies, better bodies, healthier bodies at the end of the year. And really, the NFL, as we all know, is a war of attrition anyway. So the Patriots had to go out and do a concerted amount of work on improving depth in several areas, offensive line being one, defensive backfield being another. And I think they've done that to the point now where they've got more bodies on the offensive line and defensive backfield than they have in any position or any area of the team. So I think that they've done what they set out to do. First 4 games of the year are obviously going to be difficult because, Tom Brady's sitting those out. Rob Ninkovich is having to sit those out. I think in Ninkovich's case, they're deep enough on the defensive front where, it won't be great to not have him, but I think they've got the personnel in place to be able to overcome his absence. And that when he does, come back, that they'll be able to push him into the mix, and they won't miss a beat. The big question, of course, is Brady, and how will Jimmy Garoppolo perform, and that's the big question. That's the X factor. That's what nobody knows. I can tell you that the Patriots really like Jimmy G a lot. So much so they didn't feel the need to go out and find a veteran quarterback to come in and back him up. And they've got a rookie in Jacoby Brissett who played at North Carolina State. They've got him backing him up. They really like Jimmy, and he's had 2 full years now to tutor under Tom Brady. I'd be surprised if this team didn't do at least 2-2. And I think I'd be surprised if they didn't do 3-1, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
So, I fully expect this team to win 3 out of the 4, and that's with all due respect, to Miami and to Houston and to Buffalo, who all come in and have to play at Gillette after they open up at Arizona this weekend. I think they got a chance to beat Arizona. So it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, and I have my prediction too. I think 3-1 is the right one for this team.
Yeah, I don't think you're far off with it. I think that's I think that's about what they should do. And I think if you're 3-1, then they have all of their goals set out in front of them to accomplish when Brady comes back. And I think that they survive it, and that's what you have to do. It's just a matter of surviving every week and moving on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Rooke, I want to say thanks for coming on this Sports Fusion episode. And where can Patriot fans find you on Twitter? And where can they listen to that Patriot Playbook once again?
You're the man for asking that question, Alex. Way to go. On Twitter, I'm at JR Broadcaster. You can follow me on Twitter if you like. The show is is on Patriots.com radio. It's called Patriots Playbook. And we'll have to work on getting you to be a guest again one of these days, all right?
Yeah.
And then you can find us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time on the website. And then if you cannot listen live, which I understand a lot of people can't do, you can always download the podcast for later playback.
That's great.
Go hit us up on iTunes and give us good ratings. How's that sound?
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Rooke, thanks for coming on the Sports Fusion episode.
You got it, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Okay, Fuse Nation, you just heard it from the one and only Mr. John Rooke, the New England Patriots voice. Okay, Fuse Nation, I'm back here live at 7:45 with Mark Sessler, an NFL.com writer. What does he have to say about the New England Patriots? And what about all the contract extension signings that have been announced today? Okay, Fuse Nation, thanks for watching this show. Find me on Twitter at AlexFuse, and I will see you later tonight.